They say music is the universal language. But in the Philippines, music isn't just a language, it is survival. It is history. It is the very blood that runs through the veins of over 100 million people. From the happiest fiestas to the darkest storms, the Filipino sings. But what happens when an outsider mistakes that joy for weakness? What happens when arrogance meets a culture that has survived colonization, martial law, and typhoons, only to be told their voice doesn't matter? Tonight, we tell the story of Vane, a global hip-hop mogul, a man who thought he could buy respect. And we tell the story of the night he learned that in the Pearl of the Orient, you do not disrespect the sound. This is the story of how a billion-dollar brand got destroyed by a single microphone. Look, I'm just saying, I've been here for 3 days. I've heard the radio. It's soft, man. It's all yearning. It's all ballads. Where's the grit? Where's the struggle? You guys call it OPM? To me, it sounds like elevator music for people who are scared to fight. You want to be on the world stage, you gotta stop crying and start spitting. The clip went viral in minutes. Vane, the self-proclaimed god of rhythm, had just dismissed an entire nation's culture as elevator music. He didn't understand that for the Filipino, the ballad, the condiment, wasn't just a love song. It was a revolutionary code used against colonizers. He didn't know that the softness he mocked was the velvet glove over an iron fist. He was aura farming, building his bad boy persona for engagement, treating the Philippines like just another stopover to extract money from. But the internet never forgets, and the Filipino internet. They never forgive disrespect. Enter Dante, known in the underground battle leagues as Bayan. He wasn't famous. He drove a tricycle in the mornings and produced beats in a humid, soundproof plyboard room at night. He didn't have diamonds on his wrist, but he had the entirety of Filipino poetry in his head. While Vane was drinking champagne in a penthouse, Dante was writing. He wasn't writing a diss track. He was writing a history lesson. The challenge was issued not by Dante, but by the people. The Manila Verse Festival was coming up. A massive event at the Philippine Arena. The organizers, sensing the heat, offered Vane a headline spot and a challenge. An open mic against the local. They want me to battle? Me? I sell out stadiums in New York, but okay, Manila, I'll humor you. I'll come down to your little arena and show you what real rap looks like. Bring your best singer. I'll bring the bars. The night of the festival, the air inside the arena was heavy enough to crush a lung. This wasn't just a concert anymore. It felt like a trial. Vane walked backstage surrounded by bodyguards, not looking at anyone, refusing to make eye contact with the local staff. He embodied the arrogance of the West, the idea that culture is something you import, not something that grows from the soil. He walked onto that stage thinking he was a missionary bringing fire to the savages. He had no idea he was walking into a volcano. Manila, I'm here to teach you a lesson. You want to talk OPM? I'm OPP other people's property, 'cause I own this stage now. Vane started rapping, and truth be told, he was skilled. His flow was technical, his rhymes were multisyllabic, and his cadence was perfect. He rapped about his wealth, his cars, his influence. He mocked the local traffic, mocked the sentimental nature of the Filipinos. He called them a nation of karaoke singers who only knew how to cover American songs. He was technically perfect, but spiritually empty. The crowd didn't boo. They just stood there. A silence more terrifying than noise. They were waiting. They were listening. They were judging. Vane finishes his round, chest heaving, looking triumphant. He drops the mic, expecting applause. There is polite clapping, but mostly murmurs. The spotlight shifts to the other side of the stage. Then the lights cut. Total darkness in the arena. No trap beat played. No synth. Just the sound of a single Kulantan gong echoing through the speakers. Ding, ding, ding. Then, the strum of a bandurria. It was haunting. It was ancient. From the shadows stepped Dante. He wore a simple barong Tagalog, sleeves rolled up, jeans, and slippers. No jewelry, no posse. He picked up the mic not like a weapon, but like a torch. You flew 10,000 miles to tell us who we are? You stand on this soil, built on bones of heroes, and talk about your car? You say OPM is just ballads, just love songs and tears? Mr. Van, let me whisper something in your ears. We sing because we suffer. We croon because we bleed. You rap about the struggle. We grow it like a seed. The crowd erupted. It wasn't just a rhyme. It was a recognition. Dante didn't stop. He picked up the tempo. The beat switched from the traditional instruments to a hard, grimy boom-bap beat that sounded like the banging of metal in a jeepney factory. Dante deconstructed Vane's entire career. He pointed out that while Vane was rapping about brands, Filipinos were rapping about rice prices, typhoons, and the diaspora. He switched effortlessly between English, Tagalog, and Bisaya, a linguistic flex that left Vane looking confused, checking his earpiece as if looking for a translation that would never come. You call us soft? You call us weak? My ancestors fought tanks with bolos, playing hide and seek. You brag about your chains, your gold, your ice. I'm from a place where respect is the only market price. You say we only do covers? That we mimic the West? We took your language, mastered it, and put it to the test. We are the nurses saving your life when you get old and sick. We are the sailors on your ships, keeping the global tick. We are everywhere, Marcus. In every corner, in every shade, you cannot battle a culture that the whole world hasn't paid. It was a massacre. Dante wasn't just battling a man. He was dismantling a mindset. He brought up the history of Condiment, how the love songs were actually metaphors for loving a country that was in chains. He explained that the softness Vane mocked was actually resilience, the ability to smile while standing in floodwaters. He turned Vane's insults into armor. The crowd wasn't just watching a rap battle anymore. They were witnessing an exorcism of colonial mentality. Vane stood there, holding a microphone that felt like it weighed a ton, realizing he had brought a knife to a gunfight, and the gun was loaded with 4 centuries of history. So take your plane, take your fame, take your empty sound. But never step again on this hallowed ground. You say OPM is dead? That it's boring and trite? OPM is the sunrise after the longest night. We don't need your validation. We don't need your crown. Because in the Philippines, we don't bow down. Dante drops the mic. It hits the floor with a thud that echoes. For 1 second, silence. Then, the Philippine Arena shakes. 55,000 people scream. Confetti cannons blast, not for Vane, but for Dante. Marcus Vane didn't respond. He couldn't. There was nothing to say. To speak would have been to insult the moment. He simply nodded, a stiff, humbled nod, and walked off the stage. His aura was gone, farmed by the very people he tried to mock. The livestream chat was moving so fast it was a blur of Philippine flags. The headline the next day didn't read Vane performs in Manila. It read, The Architect Demolished, How OPM Reclaimed Its Throne. Vane left the Philippines the next morning. He canceled the rest of his Asian tour. Rumor has it, when he got back to the States, he started sampling Kollontai music. He started reading history. He learned the hard way that you can critique a song, but you never, ever insult the soul of the people who sing it. The Philippines didn't just win a rap battle that night. They reminded the world that kindness is not weakness, and that the loudest voice in the room isn't always the strongest. As for Dante, he didn't sign a big record deal. He didn't move to Hollywood. He stayed in Cavite. He kept driving his tricycle. He kept making beats. Because he knew what Vane didn't. The music doesn't live in the fame. It lives in the people. And as long as there is a Filipino breathing, there will be a song, sometimes a ballad, sometimes a battle cry ready to be sung. So the next time someone tells you that your culture is too soft or too quiet, remember Dante. Remember that the ocean is quiet right before the tsunami hits. It makes you wonder, if someone came to your home and insulted your history, would you have the words to defend it like Dante did? How would you defend your culture in 16 bars? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.